I'll tell you what, folks, I did a piece yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, on the new YouTube dream team that is Danny Malin of Rate My Takeaway fame and Gary Eats. And I said, well, if you've seen it, you've seen it. If you've not, I was saying I was a little disappointed with the dream team. I expected a little bit more. I also said, this is not personal in any way, shape or form, I've been a massive supporter of young Danny for the last 3 or so years. I watch virtually everything he does. I just like him. Gary, I'm not so au fait with. I've seen bits of his stuff, and nice fella and whatever else. Seen bits of his videos, but it's the Danny stuff I like. And I like the Danny stuff, as I said yesterday, because of how he involves the public and how he is with the public, and the fact that he promotes takeaways, good takeaways, and really, ultimately, gets some extra business. And he can turn a takeaway that's not doing that well into a profitable business with a really, really good review. And he's done it on numerous occasions. And I like the old format and everything, likes everything about it. I also said, I do realise he's fallen out with his ex-partners and he's starting anew. I believe he's going to do bits on his own, or maybe bits with his other half there, young Sophie. But at the same time, he's formed an alliance with Gary, and they both get on. They're nice fellas. I'm sure they're good for each other. And they'll do what they can. They'll probably work a day or two a week, and they'll probably get enough videos for a fortnight. And that's probably what they do. Probably 2-3 videos a day. We'll see over a fortnight. Then they'll do more. That's why he's going to do some stuff on his own. He's Danny. And Gary's going to still do stuff on his own. But I did say I was a little bit disappointed with the first show, and it's because it's become different in that they're trying to create a bit of banter whilst doing what they do and becoming something of a comedic partnership. More so Danny, I think Danny enjoys that part of it, and it just wasn't for me. I didn't find it as entertaining as I normally do with Danny. And as I said yesterday, and as I'm saying again today, I like it when the public's involved more. Anyway, they did the second one yesterday. I'm not going to keep doing this on here. This is probably the last one I'm going to do, to be honest with you. And I'm certainly not doing it, as I said yesterday, to get more views and more likes and more subscribers. Firstly, because not many will see it anyway. I'm only a small channel on YouTube. Since they had the running with them the other week, I aren't pushing any of my videos anyway. I think the first video I didn't get watched by more than 100 people. This probably won't either. I do know Danny or Gary might see it, not because they'd watch this, not that it come to their feed, but somebody might tell them about it. I can't be doing it to get work off them or to get anything off them or recommendations off them, because they're not going to do any of those things, because I'm not recommending what they're doing. They're not. These aren't videos where I'm bumming them up and saying they're brilliant. This video, like the first, he's saying the same again. I was seeing the second video, and frankly, I was disappointed. I mean, I was more disappointed with it than the first, and the reason was, and that's why I'm doing the video, they go in a Chinese place in that there London. I say that all the time, like I'm not Nick that I've done. He says that, I say it all the time as well. They go in a Chinese in that there, see, I've said it again, in that there London, and Gary says, I want to bring you to this. I came about a year ago. It's in the social media about it being the rudest Chinese in London, or maybe in Great Britain. And Danny said, well, you been before? He said, yeah. And were they rude? Well, they wasn't as rude with me, but they're pretty rude, they're pretty sharpish. And what was the food like? Well, it wasn't great. All right. Okay, then Danny says, we'll go in, but I'm ordering. Anyway, it's all gets comedic again. One of them saying you shouldn't have brought me, it's crap. The other one saying you've ordered the food and it's crap. The other one saying it's what you ordered that makes it crap. And the bit of banter there, which I didn't find over funny. But I'm thinking within a minute or two, I'm thinking, why have they come to a restaurant in London that Gary's already been to once, that people are saying on social media it's the staff are very, very, very rude. Gary's saying he went to it once and the food wasn't great. Now, they do the review. I hope I'm not spoiling anything for anyone that might watch it, that might not yet seen it. They're saying the food was absolutely crap, and I mean crap, probably as bad as they've seen. Now, you could say it's good doing a review and letting folk know how bad a place is, because it'll stop people, tourists that wouldn't normally know it, going in there, and that could be a good thing. But I'm thinking to myself, this kind of video is done by, and I'm not knocking him at all, because I like him. Don't follow him all the time, but see bits he does. But this video is the kind of video that's done regularly by the Mac-Master. He does that a lot. He's got another big YouTube presence, not as big as Danny's, and certainly not as big as Gary's, but a big presence. Been doing it for a few years and great at what he does. And he does these videos of places that maybe nobody visits, or places that are often empty, or places that folk are saying the food is crap, or places that folk are saying are haunted, or places that are saying the owners like basil faulty and whatever, and this kind of stuff, which the Chinese restaurant would have fallen into. So that would be something he might do. I think he did a chip shop about a year ago, maybe somewhere on the coast, that he went to 2 years ago, and it was awful, and the people were awful, so he went to see if it was any better. I think I've seen him do a chip shop once, because he does fish and chip reviews, where he says they might not even serve me here because they fell out with me, won't let me film. Let's see how we go this time, if memory serves. He does things like that. He looks for a bit of controversy in what he does and has a laugh with it all, which is fine. But what Danny does, as of Rate My Takeaway, and I know they're going to change now because they say they're going to go different places, including restaurants, including abroad and everything else, which I'd look forward to, no problem at all. But what Danny does is he works with the public. There's been none of that in 2 videos. He also praises local and small businesses that need it, that might be struggling, because it's hard out there at the moment. And as I say, if a business is doing really, really, really well, quality of food-wise, but not getting the footfall it deserves, when Danny goes there and does a good review, I think the sales shoot up, because they believe in him, because he tells the truth, he doesn't pull his punches, he doesn't lie. And if he gives someone a great review, I think the footfall increases massively. So he's helping he's helping businesses to thrive, businesses that are struggling. And I think it's great what he does. He's not doing this with the 2 videos I've just seen, and I think because of it, it's a little sad. I do hope he goes back to much of the original. I'm sure he'll do some of that. I've got no problem him doing pubs. There's a pub I might recommend to him. As I said, I've been it before. I've done it on here myself. I've done a video on it. Not like they do. I don't film in places. I'm not a food reviewer at all. But with food, with music, with film, with TV series, with whatever I might come across, if I watch, see, hear, do something that's brilliant, I recommend it to folk. Mentioned the Stylistics the other night. Went to see them. Recommended them. They were out of this world. If I eat somewhere fantastic, I'll mention it. Not many might see it, but if just 3 people that see it then go and eat there, then I'm happy. If I go somewhere and someone's massively overcharging for food or whatever else, I tell folk. I did on a chipper in Wigan a good while ago. I got a lot of Britbats for that, but I tell folk what I think, because that's what I do. So no, I'm not a food critic. I don't want any of Gary and Danny's work. I wouldn't mind a lot of the subscribers, but I don't want the work. And I'm not knocking them, as I say. Like Gary, seems a nice fella. Love Danny. I've watched Danny much more than Gary. I think he's great. But I do wish it was a bit more as it was rather than as it now is. And I do wish there was more eating and talking about the food than the comedy, because the comedy, at best, maybe it's harsh of me to say, I mean, a lot more people fall out with than it else, but it's at best pretty lame. It's not working. If it gets better, they get more polished, then fine. But at the moment, it's not working. Which is a shame. Will I still watch it? Yes, I will. But I do hope they go back to some of what Danny was famous for and what he used to do. Because if it carries on as it is, then maybe I'll fall away. And I don't want to, because I like Danny. I support him. I like him a lot. He doesn't need my support. I'm one person. He's got thousands and thousands and thousands, and he's got his irons in other fires. I know that. But I want to support him. I like people I like, and I like him. I like him a lot. I just think he's a nice fella. I want the best for him, but I think the partnership with Gary can work, and I think they're good for each other. You know, I think they're good pals, they're good for each other, but I think the content at the moment, it's only been 2 in now, isn't the best I've seen. I've been a bit, as a fan, a bit disappointed. But that's just me. Many of you will be different than me, but that's just how I see it. That'll probably be the last video I do on them, I would imagine. As I say, I'm definitely not doing it for views and subscribers, because I'm getting nothing from these. I'm just telling you what I watch, what I see, and what I think. Simple as that. And none of it, absolutely none of it's personal, because I like them both, and I love one of them.